Hello, everybody, and welcome to another ironclad episode of Unsealed and Revealed. Yeah, clapping. We're all clapping. We're all having a good time. I am your host, Jeff May, and with me, as always, I have our resident six-scale enthusiast, expert, and all-around billionaire playboy philanthropist to know, Guy Klender. Guy, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing great. I'm very excited to be here.
Ooh, I like that. Now, of course, we have our fantabulous moderator, our Pepper Potts, making sure everything is moving smoothly in this operation. The amazing Cassidy over there on the ones and twos, and she'll be taking your questions, comments, and concerns through all of the live channels. Cassidy, how are you? I am not getting you, Cassidy, but I'm going to assume that you are doing.
I'm living pretty well.
Oh,
there she is.
I like. She's so focused on making us look good that the audio didn't get to go through, and I like that. So now Cassidy will be taking all of your questions, comments, and concerns, as I said. So don't be afraid to participate in this episode because we have a lot to go through on this one, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Now today we are looking at the Iron Man Mark 47 6-scale from Hot Toys. Now, this piece is, as I'm sure everybody watching is aware of, a long-awaited reissue of the wildly popular and immediately sold out movie masterpieces die-cast piece from the beloved Spider-Man Homecoming film. And as you can see, of course, just like normal, Guy Klender is back in the studio, and he's feeling great. Right, Guy?
I'm feeling fantastic.
You look fantastic, and that's a good mix. So I like that. Now we are, of course, continuing to practice social distancing and being safe. My man, super producer Sam, is over there behind the camera. He's more than 6 feet away and wearing a mask. And nobody else is in the studio with Guy. Now, as always, we are doing our best to ensure the good health of ourselves and others, and we hope that you are too. Now that I got that out of the way, Guy, I'm going to need you to crack this baby open because I have we have an obsession building right here with this piece.
It is a beautiful piece. I've only had an opportunity to play with it a little bit, but it is gorgeous. So let's first talk a little bit about the box. This is one of our die-cast figures, and with that, that means that we're going to get that thick foam box that it comes inside. Artwork on the front, we've got a kind of a flight simulation with the light up. In the background, you see Avengers Tower right here. You see a little bit of New York over here as well on the side.
Hey, Guy, I'm going to ask you. It looks, what kind of material is that cover?
Oh, probably you're wondering if it's iridescent, and I'm going to kind of move it around.
Okay.
And there is a bit of foil in the, where I said the Avengers part here and that here, but it's very bright. Here on the gold of the suit is not a foil, however, it is almost a reflective quality because how bright it is.
The reason I'm asking is because what I'm seeing on the camera is I think we're not catching the light properly on that.
Oh, okay.
So it's not looking as bright. So see that now. Okay, that's what I wanted right there. I need you to like kind of move the box around a little bit so I can see where it looks in the light.
Well, that's interesting that it kind of gets me a holographic look there. But
yeah, that's why I was wondering. It was like, is it lenticular? Is it holographic?
It is not a lenticular, but that's a great choice of whether or not it is. But it is not. However, it does have that very bright color that is catching the light uniquely. So,
okay, perfect. Thank you for that.
Oh, thank you. What I'm going to do before we show out the rest of the box is we're going to slide out.
Oh yeah, I'm really seeing that color pop as you were like really moving the box.
All right, we've got our inner foam. On the box, you also have, again, that wraparound art, so we're going to see his arm there. It's kind of a raised and textured to show the mark. It does have the Spider-Man logo on top and bottom of that there. Then on the back, all of our credits. Kind of turn that. Oh, there. Good. Jeff, are you catching that? That you do see?
I do see that. I do see that right there. That logo.
So we've got a kind of an arc reactor, and here we're kind of a digital style of webbing, bringing the two characters together. So that's our nice, sturdy, heavy-duty box, and then our inner foam here, pressed into it, the number. I'm always Be real gentle when you do those. It is a styrofoam protector, but you don't want to snap it. Inside.
Look at that.
It is. You and I have talked about our favorite suits, and this may be my new absolute favorite. This is one that I missed out on, so I was very excited when they did it as a reissue. It was a brief error in judgment where I thought I don't need it. As I said, it was a very big error in judgment.
It's crazy how popular this piece was.
Yes.
Or is.
Yeah.
And the decision by Hot Toys to do a reissue, I think, is huge. It's a brilliant move.
Yeah.
But it's also like such a good move because there is an infinite number of people that wanted this.
Oh yes. Yeah. That is one thing when you miss out on something, and then you go, oh. And this is just it's a wonderful opportunity. I love the look of the suit. So we're going to talk a little bit about what we've got inside. We do have our Tony portrait right here. We have the additional face mask that'll go with what's new to me, and I love the look of it, is a completely hollowed out helmet. That was really cool.
What a great scene in the film too. When you think he's there, and then it opens up, and it's like, oh, it's just the drum.
Yeah, it was something Tony talked about prior that he wanted to be able to do, that the suits did their own thing, and to see it like that.
We saw that the remote piloting, we saw it heavily in Iron Man 3.
Exactly.
And now we're seeing it sort of process into the real world applications of it, because there were problems with the system.
Yes.
And then by the time he had perfected it in Homecoming, and we get this really wonderful addition to the film.
Yes. All right. Lift that off, and you're going to have your lower tray and the all-important instructions. I read these 2 or 3 times. Reason being is this is one of the most battery-filled figures we've done. The last time I did this many batteries was in that huge Hulkbuster. But he's gorgeous all lit up. We're going to do that a little later on. But make sure you read these a number of times.
Yeah, as we talk about too with these, and especially with a piece like this that you may have been waiting a couple years to get your hands on. With this, that the batteries, Guy has a very specific way of doing it, and he said there's as many as the Hulkbuster. Is that right?
There are so many little hidden areas with it that. And that's also another amazing thing, is how they've been able to hide all the little battery compartments in this. It is absolutely spectacular.
It seems like Iron Man would be the perfect character to be able to do that, because he's so pale.
Yeah, it's very, very good. Here is your lower tray, and here's some things that we're going to take a look at that are in there. You do have your stand. The tweezers have their own little section this time, okay? I love that they do those, and you are going to need those. Some of these batteries are really small. Also, underneath the stand here, that we're going to get to later on, is going to be your screwdriver and all of your batteries. All right, those batteries are empty because I've put those in. We have our stand is actually a 2-tiered stand, because it also holds the drone, okay, which is neat. We have our swap out wrist weaponry and our shoulder weaponry, along with some flight effects, the neck cowl, and the eyeglasses, which I think are spectacular, which are neat. So we're going to get to those in a little bit, but let's take him out of the box and take a look at this figure. Would you look at that? Just look at that.
So now I want to talk about the color of the torso for a little bit, because is it like a silver or a gunmetal or like a chrome?
Okay.
How's that? What's the color? How's that specifically look?
Well, let's discuss that. It's great that you threw out some wonderful phrases that actually are correct. It has a multiple of different colors, and that breaks up those sections. Like, let's take a look right down on the front thigh area. Okay, boom. Both a silver, one kind of an stainless steel type look, and the other more of a gunmetal blackish chrome look to it. That also there on the back. A little bit up on the hips as well.
This is good too, because we have, I mean, all things considered, professional studio lighting. We have such an amazing crew over there at the Sideshow Studios. So you really get a good look at what the true color is with the lighting. You know, and for those people that, you know, you see it in the Let Your Geek Sideshow Facebook group, I see so many people with their collections, and they have those like very well lit display areas here. So if you have a well lit display area, this is about what you're going to see.
Exactly. It's a very deep and bright red. This is that race car red that Tony is so fond of.
Yeah, it's really great.
There is, we're going to spin it around to show a little bit. They have done some little weathering. You know, as he's flying around, he's going to nick little things in the air. So there is a little bit of weathering around the edges there. I love those pops of red and that neat blend from kind of the lower torso to the midsection. I really think it's neat. And then we still have that Iron Man gold done within it. We have it up here on the shoulders and around, and then kind of connecting there on the back.
Look at that design. Whoever went into the design, when you look at all the people that work on the designs of these characters, and you know, the crazy talented artists that really put that together. It's so good.
Oh, it's gorgeous. And we can go head to toe. We're going to start up at the very top, work our way down. We'll answer any questions about design or look of the figure after we've done that, and then kind of show off some other. Love the look on that. This does have a light up effect. He has a lot of light up effects, so a little later on in the show, we are going to do all of them. But traditional ball joint head. When you get down on the neck, what I like here is, there you go. Excellent shot from the side there. As you're seeing those metal parts where it goes together.
You know what? One of the things that I really find fascinating about this piece, and why I think it is so popular, aside from the fact that people love the movie itself, is that with Iron Man we usually get a two-color scheme. You get your red and golds, or in the case of like the Mark V, for example, your red and silvers, and then, you know, with the neon text, it's the neon colors. Here we have a 3-point color scheme. We have and even 4 if you want to consider like the different varying shades of silver and gray, and however you want to refer to it. But that addition of a third color makes this piece super memorable, like from a visual standpoint, because it does buck the tradition that Iron Man had of having just a sort of 2-point color scheme.
Yeah, just look at that. I mean, thank you, Sam, for doing an amazing job on going up and down and showing all of the different looks, and like you said, all the different colors. I even love on the back of the knee is one of my favorites, where we have both the red and the silver in the bend joint. It's just a really neat neat look there. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
Just a gorgeous look.
Yeah. This is one of those things that I'm gonna make a suggestion. If you're watching this and you're on the fence about this piece has already sold out with immediacy in the first run. I don't even know if and maybe Cassidy, you might be able to tell us if this is still available, because I'm not 100% sure. I don't have those specs. But if this is something that you can get, and you're like even kind of on the fence about it, I would say go for it. Yeah. This is one of those ones that, as Guy said before, you would vehemently regret once it passes through.
Yeah, exactly. Let's take a look at what we're going to get in that top tray, which means, of course, our Tony Stark head sculpt. I'm going to set this down in front right there.
While you're doing that, I'm going to ask you the question, Guy. Did you watch Spider-Man Homecoming last night?
I did indeed. I did indeed. It's such a great movie. It's such a great movie, and to me, it was very surprising. I remember when they had said that Tony would be in it, and I didn't think that he would be playing such an important role in it that he did.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, you thought it would be more of a cameo, and instead it's a full-on warship. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna pull off all of our accessories here and discuss those.
Guy, as you're pulling those accessories out, I'm gonna hit up Cassidy, and I'm gonna say, Cassidy, how we doing in the comments there? What do we got going on?
We do have some questions in the comments.
Excellent.
We do have a question from both Ron and Button999 on YouTube. They wanted to know if this cover of the box is new.
I haven't seen the cover of the box from the original one.
Yeah, if that is the question, sadly, I'm going to have to tell them that because I did not have the original release, I do not know if it is different. I believe it is not. But again, I'm not 100% sure on that.
Yeah, apologies for not having that information, but neither Guy nor myself were smart enough to get this on the first.
Nope, we made an error in judgment that day.
Oh man, there's so many times we go through these, and I'm like, oh, I wish I had that.
Yeah, boy, did I. That was
still waiting. If any of you have a Mark V just sitting around looking to get rid of, you can send that to me, courtesy of
it. Jeff will be covering shipping. All right, so we have a great.
We do. Before you keep going though, Cassidy, do we have any more?
We do have a question again about a comparison to the first version from Alan on the Let You Geek Sideshow Facebook group. I wanted to know about the accessories, if they are the same or different.
As this is a reissue, his accessories do remain the same.
As they should, yes. I would say.
Now, there's probably been upgrades in paint technique and things like that, but as far as what it comes with, this is the same as the first release.
It's one of those things too. With when Hot Toys has been doing a lot of these reissues and stuff, they understand that, they understand to make things sort of, I guess you would say the phrase fair, where they're going to be like, look, if it's a reissue, we're going to make it a reissue. We're not going to give you 15 different things and make it seem like we're trying to be weird about it. We're just gonna go for it. Give you the
you realize you missed out, so we're giving you a chance. So
nice.
Yeah. So we've got a great Tony sculpt right there. Absolutely fantastic. Every time they do another Robert Downey Jr., they just get better and better and better each time. And I love it. Absolutely love it. There's one of my absolute favorite accessories, and that is the helmet empty. Love that. Now
what a great scene.
Oh. Yeah. It almost has that scene, because he's not there. It's as though you're getting yelled at by your mom on the phone, kind of thing, that he had that, now, that does have the front magnets, so if you want to have it closed, reminder that if you do that, it does not have light up feature inside. So if you're going to want that light up feature, that's still going to be the other head, the one that comes on it.
This, it's funny. Initially, one might think, looking at this, and be like, that's a weird choice to have. But I have a feeling more people are going to choose this version of a display than you would think, because this not only adds to the concept of the realism of the piece from the movie, but beyond that, it also adds to the fact that you now have an Iron Man and an Iron Man sort of, not drone specifically because it's like autopilot or piloted, but like it would make sense in canon if you only have two Iron Man. Irons Man. How do we pluralize that? You're like, oh, I have two Tony Starks next to each other, and instead of like I have Tony Stark and the thing that he is having pilot itself.
Yeah. The glasses are in the lower tray, but I wanted to put that on there so you can see them next to each other.
Are those the Edith glasses?
Yes, they are.
Do we know?
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Yep, they are the Ediths. We didn't realize that that's what it was until later on. They fit on there very, very nicely. These are not metal and not actual glass either, but they are scaled wonderfully and really give it a great look. And again, he does have that kind of stern, I'm not mad at you, I'm just disappointed.
It's a very parental look, and it's a very smart choice on the part of the sculptor. Whoever the sculptor and designers are on this piece, they picked the perfect face sculpt for this version of Tony. Is that sort of stern parent? And you really nailed it in the I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed.
I'm just disappointed. I don't know if anybody else has ever heard that, but I know I have. That's on a loop in my brain. I say that to myself every day. So here we go. Here are our different hands. Now these are identical on both a right and left side. Again, what I'm loving is that the difference in color from that silver kind of stainless polished, then the red, the gold. We're getting all of them inside these hands as well. Now these here are done as we've seen before, where they kind of do the attachment point at an angle, so they're automatically up for light effect. Now what they've done is actually give you these ones here, firing repulsor rays.
Yeah, that's when I remember when we have the big Iron Man reveal of like I believe it's at the splitting of the ferry, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a whole scene where he's kind of floating while he's hovering with the repulsor rays going and talking. So that is smart on their point to like have like the big reveal moment be something that is a part of their sculpt.
Now that hand there, right and left, this is what we've seen before, where they are the articulated fingers on there as well. That was one of the first new things that they could light up, and then they later on, articulated the hands was spectacular, which is really, really neat. So we've got those. So those are going to be our hand swap out options. The other swap out options that you have, I'm going to move the helmet off and the Tony off here, show you that you also have right and left shoulder rockets exposed. This, instead of being kind of a large flap that lifts up, they just kind of slid in the movie and quickly are exposed. So you have those both right and left, and you also have both right and left front wrist gauntlet rocket. Again, because of how tight the suit is now, that's why these things are so sleek in the open phase on there. But I love those. They look gorgeous. They look gorgeous, and we will swap one of those out a little bit later. But those are going to be the pieces that you are able to swap around out on the body. The other important one that is suit specific, incredibly important, is this one right here, and that is the neck cowl.
Okay, yeah, that one is very important.
Yep, now that goes around the back when you're going to have the exposed Tony head. Okay, and that goes in there. And this is obviously a great piece to have for that, because this is one of those where the flink, it flips all the way back.
Guy, I have a question for you for when it comes to when you're going to be dealing with this. Are you going to do full Iron Man, Tony head, or empty face?
I'm very excited about the empty face, and that was when I found out I was going to have an opportunity to get this. I was obviously very excited, and that was really, for me, the big seller. I was like, I love that it's the empty, what I called the empty suit look. But the Tony with the glasses is also a great look that I have a feeling that even if I keep him in more of a static pose, that probably swapping out the head will happen a little bit more often than I normally do them. So, because I love him with the glasses, on there. It's pretty darn neat. So let's take a look at the other accessories that come with him. We've spoken about that we have the blast effect on the hands. We also have blast effect both right and left. Mm-hmm. And these actually clip into the feet.
Well, the feeties.
Yes, exactly. So when you spoke of that hovering effect,
that's gonna you would do that, and you would add those hands that already have the built-in.
Exactly. Yep. And you can have them like that. And the neat part is you could have it with the open head or with Tony in it. You know, it's again that's entirely up to you. But those are but those are two additional features. And lastly, in that kind of flame effect, is you have these two. Okay.
Oh, for taking off.
No, these are actually for his drone and the little mines that shoot out of it. And I'm going to rig those up a little bit later. But these are all of your effects, and you have two of them. You also have two of the little projectiles and your drone itself, which is right here. Okay.
I love that.
It's beautiful.
Real quick, for those of you that are just joining us and you're looking at all these wonderful accessories, we are looking at the Iron Man Mark 47 6-scale figure from Hot Toys. This is a die-cast piece from the movie Masterpieces collection, and this is a long-awaited reissue. Now, also, and this is very important for everybody to pay attention to, do not forget, if you like what you're seeing and you want to see more of this, make sure to subscribe and hit that notifications bell on our YouTube channel so you won't miss out on any of our content. Now, we have loads of giveaways and events going on all the time. So follow us on social channels like @CollectSideshow on Twitter and @Sideshow Collectibles on Instagram to keep an eye on those. Now, speaking of content, you have got to check out our original show, The Comics Haul, if you haven't already. Every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific, our resident comic book nerds, Amy and Paul, get together to talk about their recent haul. The show is great for those who have been reading comics forever, or if you're just getting into them. It's a very user-friendly show. I really enjoy watching it. The show is fantastic. You can catch them live on all of our social channels, just like Unsealed and Revealed. And the show is also available from Thursday each week in podcast form on Acast, Apple Podcasts, and Alexa Flash Briefing. And I love having them as a part of the podcast family on Sideshow because I was lonely. I love that so much. Cassidy is going to be dropping a link to those places right about now. She's going to do it now. Maybe now. It's going to be like right around now. It's probably now. And he's going so you can catch up on those episodes. So don't be afraid to check out all of those. And you can get some Sideshow episodes too if you want. No big deal. While we're at it, then, Guy, look what you're doing, bud.
Hey, buddy. What I'm doing now is some light up effect. While you were giving everybody a lot of wonderful information, this is one of the most heavily lit figures that we've seen.
Yeah, you were warning us about this. So,
yes.
So as you're doing that, then, because I know you kind of prepped me for this ahead of time, and you said it's going to be a little bit to get these prepped up. So as we're going to keep the camera on that, I'm going to ask Cassidy about any questions or comments up to this point.
Yeah, we do have some questions and comments on YouTube. Steve wanted to know, is the red brighter than the original? He thinks it looks a little brighter, but I think we talked about the paint a little bit.
Go ahead, Guy.
No, go ahead, sir.
I was going to say, here's the question about is this blank compared to the original? What we're guessing on this, because remember that neither Guy nor myself have access to that original, is that we're guessing that as a reissue, it's pretty much going to be the same thing. And then Guy, you probably would know a little bit better because you're right next to it. What do you think?
Yes. Now, because I didn't have it, didn't mean that I didn't have friends that could say, "Oh, you silly man, you didn't get it." And so I did see theirs. I want to say this is a little deeper red, but just slightly. Okay. But it is...
Maybe.
Yeah. Perhaps just a little. Now, what I'm doing here, and Jeff has been wonderful to help me out here with
To distract.
To distract, yes, thank you. Is that this figure has just so many light up areas that he has miniature repulsors all over. That just, I know there are many people who don't really light up their figures. And this is one that I think is an essential light up. Just wait till we turn off the lights and you see all of the different places that he does do it at. Okay, good. We're at the overhead, so we can take a look at that. I first want to talk about, you have two on the back legs here, okay? Now, in your instructions, it's going to tell you how to remove them. I want everybody to be incredibly careful. We're going to put one of these clips up here on the turntable so I can discuss it. And thank you, Sam, for getting a close-up. You see that it does have the 4 little clips. Mm-hmm. 2 are going downward, 2 are going horizontally. When you put those in, make sure that you do that correctly. You're going to put them first into the leg and then snap down. And the reason for that is you wouldn't want to break off the little clips at all. I'll show all of the different areas. We've still got 2 more to go. That's, yes, he has light up in the...
You were really right about that.
Yes.
Hey, Guy, guess what we're accidentally doing right now?
What is that?
We're on tread watch right now.
Oh, my goodness. We're doing it, gosh darn it.
You have given us an immediate tread watch. Look at that. Oh, those look great.
Now, here's something we've never done on tread watch.
Booster watch.
Blast effect. Tread watch.
Look at that. That is some hot tread. Hey.
Yep. You see that you do have that little hole in there that those will clip into. They are an articulated foot that we've seen on the Iron Man ball jointed. And these, as we've seen in some of the others, does actually drop down a little bit, the same as the leg and the torso, giving you a little bit better posability. All right. Coming up on the last couple spots of light up effect. All right, Cass, questions? Are we good?
We did have a question on YouTube from It's the Law 25 who wanted to know, is there an included flight stand?
Okay, we're going to talk about the stand next as well.
Okay, we can wait for that.
But
yeah, we'll get there.
We are going to discuss that the stand is very specific to this particular one as well. All right, we got him going up. There's, like I said, there's so many light effects. I'm going, did I get them all on? Did I turn them all on?
Yeah, this is intensity. Pardon the pun. Light up effects here. It really is a busy process, and what I think will be a lot of fun if you have people.
Definitely give yourself some time to do the batteries. This is something that obviously we wouldn't be doing live, or we would have a 4-hour segment. But it is one that you are going to want to take your time with. Let's talk about them, though. Right up here on the shoulder, this is a new kind of place to see them. This is how it goes on. You have a large peg and a little clip. Okay. Again, they've always been very good to label all of the different parts with an R or an L so you know where they go. Okay. And then you'll put the little batteries in, pushes and clips, and you'll hear that it locks on. We have one there. We have our standard large one here in the back underneath our panel. Okay. While we were back there, you also have all of your really cool flaps going on. You know,
so many flaps. Look at all those flaps.
Look at all those flaps. We have our main one for the eyeballs underneath the head that we've grown accustomed to there. And then there are the 2 I talked about as far as the legs. All right. So what I'm going to have our friend Sam do is kill the lights here, and we are going to see all of the glory this particular.
Kill those lights there. Super light killer Sam.
Super light killer Sam. He's giving us a little camera lock there. Boom.
Jeez. Now give me a rotation on that.
All
Let me
right.
see how
So you're going to have the eyes. You have the front chest arc reactor all the way down along the arm. You've got upper and lower. You're also going to have them in the hand as well that we've seen. Have them on the hip joint. All along the hip joint. Down on the knees calf area. Look at, oh, I love those. How those popped.
Look at that.
All right.
Yeah, that's something.
And then,
ooh.
Yep, and then boom, little ones along the back, on the shoulders. Whoops, you know what? When I was taking them off, I took the left one off twice, but as you can see, that's again where they light. I took that off twice. I was like, wait, why isn't that one lit up? But as you can see, massive amount of tiny arc reactors.
It's an aggressive amount of lighting.
Yes, an aggressive amount of lighting. Any questions while we've got it lit up and while we've got our...
Yeah. Lighting question?
Any lighting questions, Cass?
We do.
Oh, we do.
Yeah. So Alistair on YouTube wants to know, should we leave the batteries in the figure or should we take them out to avoid any leakage or anything like that?
Well, that's a great one to ask. Obviously, always a question of, do I leave the batteries in? I will say this. This is a figure I plan on lighting up, okay? And I like him a lot because of that. If you are not lighting a figure, I think they tell you, and myself and others would, Terry and others would say, don't put them in if you're not going to use the effect. That being said, if you do use the effect, make sure that you're checking on them. If they seem dim, if they're wearing out, obviously you're going to want to change them out. And Hot Toys actually even will tell you in the instructions things about making sure that you will.
Yeah. Do you have a time period of how often you should maybe switch out the batteries?
Well, I'm going to say this: if you're not if you're leaving them on all the time, they're probably going to drain pretty quickly, and that you might find yourself doing it. I've never left one on the entire time, but I think if you did, you'd probably, get a month or so.
I would say that's generous.
Yeah,
that you would get a
month of just straight on.
Yeah.
But as far as the on-off, you put it together, turn them all on, fascinate your friends, invite your friends over an hour after, because it's going to take you a while to turn them all on. So. Tell your friends to come over at 8. You start lighting it at 6:30.
Yeah, and then start going to town on it.
So there we go. I did that other shoulder. But let's see. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think there's 23 or 24 light up places on this guy. I'm finding newer ones. Remember, I told you so many battery spots. Look at they're even on the hip. When I lift the arms there, you see there's here.
Look at that.
And then you've got one in the front. And then you've got one in the back. So there's 3 around there. Then you've got down on the knee. You've got on the calf.
Guy, I have been informed that there are 28 light up areas.
Thank you. 28. See, you can even lose count while he's in your hand. He's so mini.
Well, yeah, your job isn't to count lights. That's what Cassidy and I are here for.
Right eye, left eye. That's 2. They are also on the palm here. Because we're gonna do an articulation thing. We get a great bend there. You've got one even on the hand. So normally we're used to it being in the repulsor part. We also got it on the top and on the forearm.
I like that. Cassidy, do we have any more light questions?
We did have a general question, about lighting from Ron on the Let Your Geek Sideshow Facebook group, who wanted to know, Do you, Guy, leave all of your light up figures on just like all the time, or you turn them on, turn them off?
I will turn them on. Normally, this sounds silly, but I would call it light up day. That would be, I have a number of the Iron Men, a number of figures that, light up as far as like some of your Star Wars figures and this and the other. It would be where, okay, I'm going to light these all up. And that's really, somebody's coming over, I want to show them off or something like that.
Yeah. It seems like something like back in the day when parties were a thing.
Yes.
That, that would
social
be
gatherings.
You're having over. Yeah, you're going to light them up and have a good time.
Yeah.
Light them, as we said.
As I mentioned earlier on, and is that if you're not going to use a light up effect, it's best, and this is in all toys, is to not have the batteries in them. If you're not going to light it up too often, just check on them. You're still going to want to check on them from time to time.
That's reminding me that I got to go back and maybe take the batteries out of mine, because I have several really fantastic pieces that I still haven't unpacked from my move that have the batteries in them, and I'm like, maybe I should take that.
All right.
So thank you for that heads up. God, that looks good. I forgot how good that looks.
Yes, I know. We were in the dark for a bit there, but. All right, what I want to do now while we have him lit, and we are going to leave him lit for the rest of the show, is go over a little articulation stuff and then do our last of our accessories and answer any questions on that.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is the longest we've ever taken to get to articulation.
Yes, so we have our traditional ball jointed head as well as the neck area. Okay, so you also have your neck as well. On our arm, this does float around a little bit. However, this is not a removable piece, and that it being said is because, remember, there is that light effect that's there in the back of it. Okay, so be cautious when you're moving that around. But as I lift the arm up, I do have a little bit more play in it. Okay, so you've got great range of motion on those, where you can twist upper area of the arm. I can go almost all the way around with it. Got a full bend there, articulated fingers, the ball jointed wrist joint that we are accustomed to. Working our way down, I'm going to lift the arms both up here as such. This is a beautiful, this is just so neat, so neat. We've got our trunk twist, the Terry Smith trunk twist.
Yeah, you can get a lot of really dynamic posing out of that.
Whoa, it's like having you in the room. I love that. But yes, you get a good range of motion there. You get a little bit of the old-timey stretches. Remember, the suit is going to be mildly here. However, as we've seen with some of the other Iron Man, is to get more range of motion, they give you a little lift up to articulate a little more. And when you do that on here, you're going to see that this little front piece does move. Okay, let's say
good.
All right, giving us a little bit more motion there on that one, like so. Then we're going to look down at the waist joint. Right here, you have those little flaps that we've seen, okay? In a 2, 1 lifts here, 1 in the front, but that's going to allow for more movement of the leg. Okay, if you're going further out, and you do get, I'm not sure he did any karate type moves, but you do.
It's like his whole thing, right?
Yes, exactly. He did the whole deal. But again, anytime you're moving those legs, you've got those flaps. You hear that it is ratcheted. All right, Here's one that I really think is neat. I bent the knee here. I talked a little earlier about how I like that there's the red, the silver, the red, the silver, the alternating. And then that knee goes back up into it. So the boom, boom. You know, detail in a moving joint like that. Love the line work in there. It's got so many cool features in there. So this is that kind of ball jointed leg around that allows us to do a lot of great poses there. Yes, he can do his soccer kicks backward as well. Once I've posed him, you'd bring those back down. The leg also drops down if you need to. Okay, you'll be kind of pulling that in order to get those further bends. All right. Jeff, this is just fun. This is really fun. Okay.
I like it.
Last points of articulation. Let's talk about the feet. Okay. These are a ball joint.
I noticed that there's the toe joint, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yes. The toe tapping. Yep. Lift our toe tapper. Little toe tapper.
Feeling it.
There, and then you have on the back there, I've lifted that up. If I'm going to put the foot in a different position, I can do that. But you do have that ball joint that we have become accustomed to on those. So lots of great articulation points on there. All right, what I'm going to do real quick is swap out one of the rockets.
There it is, yeah.
Yeah, I want to show off all the different. So there, as you can see, still very sleek. There's with rockets, and there's without. Alrighty. And I can quickly do a hand swap out. See, there's a lot with this.
There is a lot. What I want to get to is I want to talk about posing.
Okay.
Because you had mentioned the stand specifically.
Yes, let's take a look at that. Okay. Let's jump to the stand.
I want to see what our options are.
All right. Here is our stand. Turn that to the side. Very bright and reflective, textured there.
It looks like it's a unique shape for maybe just for the Spider-Man Homecoming. It's a different shape than, say, the Infinity War ones,
I think,
which are more like a equilateral
yes.
hexagon.
Yes, and it does have your front nameplate there with a little protective deal on there that I've removed. And then you kind of, there we go. Kind of see that it has a bit of webbing on the side there. Okay, now, instead of a dynamic stand that we've seen with a lot of these ones here, this is going to be our traditional style stand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like so. Giving us a little extra. However, there's a couple things that you need to know about this one, and this is if you're going to choose to use this next accessory that we're going to show off, which is the drone. And we're going to show off the little drone projectiles. Okay, so we have the drone here. Great paint scheme on this one here. Now, this is the new stand piece that is going to come with it. Okay, this part is that kind of dynamic stand we're used to. Okay, but it has an additional little piece here that holds just the drone. And there are two little pegs underneath the drone that clip into there. It'll then snip on there. I'm going to just kind of bend it real quickly off to the side.
And then you can put that little fire.
We can put the little fire thing on it. Now, how does this attach to the other? Make sure that you're reading your instructions as we've discussed. We've talked a little bit about.
I was going to say, can we get Tony? Can Tony in that stand do like a slight hover?
Let's take a look. That's definitely something I did want to discuss. Is can we do a hover in it? I'm sure that that's people's question. What I quickly did here to show that off is when you're putting this little back plate on that's going to hold that up, you first are going to remove your wire there, set on, hold it, drop it back in. Okay. But what I'm going to do, see if we can do a slight hover on that. And I don't believe we are going to be able to. Nope. Because of the weight of the figure, it's going to be pushing down on that wire to keep.
Diecast.
Yeah. Because of the die cast, that is not something we're going to be able to do. But there we go. That is the stand with the drone attachment. Move Tony off here for a moment. And let's talk a little bit about the drone itself. Okay, I'm going to take this off for a moment. Your effects and your little probes. The probe here does have 4 clasps that go upward. Okay, or they can be splayed out. Watch as they kind of open in flight. So you can choose because, again, as I said, you have 2 of them. You have your peg on there, hole there, holds in there nice and tight, like so. The other end has the notch, and that's going to go on this side here. Okay, like I said, you have 2 of them, so you can have 1 firing, 2 firing, and they are your choice on how you'd like the directions. So I'm just going to, for the heck of it, blast it that way.
Oh, look at that.
So boom. And let's set Tony on the stand as well. Okay. So as I said, you have 2 of those. I do like that kind of in-flight launch look. And I could have a second one going downward or upward or over. Or, again, there are a number of peg spots. I think there are 11 little peg spots, and you can put it in any of those. Put that on there. Give it a little twist when you're on there so it'll hold. These aren't exactly heavy, but remember you have that kind of large bulbous effect going down, and it tapers down, so you're going to have a little bit more weight up on the top there.
Look at that.
Isn't
there
that
he
neat, though?
is. Now,
really cool?
Cassidy, I'm gonna swing back to you for one last call for questions, comments, and or concerns. What do we got going on? Anything in the chat?
We did have a question from Kirsten Luann on Twitter who wanted to know, and this was back when we did the light up feature, it was right after, if the accessories light up with the lights. I think he's asking about like the fire thrusts and everything.
I think that's what you're going to ask about. I am going to pop one off. We're going to swap one of those out, and you are going to see for yourself.
On
look at
that
one.
Right, getting it in right at the last minute.
At the last minute, we're getting in your last question, so we're going to quickly pull off right here, like so. I wondered as well, and if super producer and cameraman Sam would be so kind as to kill the lights for me again.
We're going to take a look at if there's the
yes, as you can see, there's kind of that blast effect.
Okay,
I think a little comes through,
it's
but
a little. It's not an aggressively explosive
correct
light, but it is there a little bit.
It
and
is
probably better.
Bit.
I'm guessing it translates better in real life than it does on camera too.
Possibly, and the other thing that would be interesting about this is probably what you're going to want to do is have this as a kind of a flight look or something like that. And the ones that go onto the feet, there is no light up feature for that, so they would all kind of look the same, being that way. But it also has.
Nice.
I do dig the blast effect. So, thank you, Jeff, for keeping me on point with all of the doohickeys.
Hey, I'm here for So if you're doing light, and again, I wasn't there, but I'm guessing, Guy, that you would suggest if you're doing dark room with the light up that you would probably not use the blast effect in the same way. You like that would be
correct.
more
I don't think I would. I don't think I would use the blast effect that way, but I do want to have it out there so we can see it.
Yeah, Cassidy, last call. We got anything going?
I believe that we are good.
Oh,
I like that. I was actually afraid that we weren't going to make it through in time because this was such a sort of an intense and busy piece. So that's great. I'm glad we sort of swept in and got that in there. We got to see the Iron Man head with the Tony Stark. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed head. And we got to see the Hollow head. We got to see all those great things. This is a really, really great piece, and I'm glad we got to do that. So thank you all so much for joining us. You have been an amazing audience. Now, if you're interested in any of our giveaways, then you'll need to head over to our Let Your Statue Sideshow Facebook group. And in celebration of Batman Day, this upcoming Saturday, we're giving away the Batman statue from Sideshow's animated series collection. Join the group to enter. Cassidy's going to drop a link in the chats now, and I'm going to show you something. I'm going to see if I can point this up. I have that statue.
Yes.
It's right there. You see it? That is one of my favorite all-time pieces. And when I got to do a video for it and immediately contacted my producer and said, I'm just going to buy this. And I bought it. I love the piece so much. So you're definitely going to want to have that. It is such a fantastic piece. Thank you all for hanging out with us. And we will see you next Monday on the 21st. At 10 a.m. Pacific for another episode of Unsealed and Revealed. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you, Guy, for doing such a great job.
Oh, thank you for
you nailed it.
Let me play.
And of course, not my option. I would have let you play for 2 hours if that was the case. Cassidy, thank you so much for being such a fantastic moderator and dealing with all what I'm sure is the wonderful comments, questions, and concerns that you are viewing in the socials. You are all fantastic. Thank you all so much. And of course, don't forget to let your geek side show. Bye.